Please leave a message after the
explanation is incredibly minimizing.
You know, this is the kind of story that when I was growing up in the UK, I would always hear about maybe some reporters going to the Middle East or something and them getting held for ransom and being killed. And when I was young, didn't really give a shit, didn't really affect me. Stupid white guy goes to country, you know, war zone, gets killed, you know, you deserve it. You know, watching this in real time, because again, we're late to the party on the discussion. Watching this week by week, this guy, you know, you see the camera footage of the guy walking in the consulate, not coming out, and then, you know, them saying that, oh, he's gone, he walked out, he left, and da-da-da-da. It was very harrowing, very disgusting, and then hearing, you know, the details of what happened to him getting chopped up, and then the fake. I really feel my age listening to this now. It's like a fucking horror movie. It's like a thriller movie now. And I just found it really disgusting. Apart from all of the other Trump aspects, all this other stuff, I just thought it really scared me. And I feel horrible about this, man.
It was a really bad thriller movie as well because they did it so badly that they botched it up. I mean, I think they even released footage of, I don't know if it's fake or not there, but footage of like a body double.
Yeah,
where they try to feign him walking around. Didn't even look similar to him.
That was later.
That later?
That was after. It was all denial first. Remember?
Yeah.
Like, oh no. Then later,
they try to develop a narrative first, right? Of possibly obviously that, you know, they didn't know anything about it, and this is fake news, and they try to know have their own online team there, you know, but basically trying to flood all the Twitter's the Twitter's world. Social media world, saying like the whole Twitter sphere, that's it. They're just saying like no, this isn't us. This is all fake news. These are all the haters who just really hate. You know, this is an attack on Saudi Arabia. Then when it became so just undeniable, you know, like there was no way you could even cover it up. And then they were like, okay, he died, but it was through interrogation.
It was an accident. He slipped on the fist and it just pierced his brain. It just happened. It just slipped. Come on, guys.
Oh my God.
And then it accidentally got chopped up into little pieces.
And even the guys, the hitmen, they were tourists. They were there to visit Istanbul for one day. Not even like stay the night. They just went to like, we came to visit the consulate, and then we go home. Like that type of holiday. And they just flew out on a private jet. I mean, it was so badly done.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just it's almost comedic.
And isn't the government or the prince or the government of the nation, isn't he like really progressive? He's done all these changes, and
that's how he presents himself. MBS, I think they also call it. Mohammed bin
Salman. That's why I didn't try.
MBS. That's why they call it. That's why we call him MBS.
That's why I didn't try. Yeah.
I don't even want to try that. Yeah, but MBS. Yeah, he's trying to put, by doing progressive moves such as introducing cinemas,
the women driving,
which is obviously aesthetically to us, like, in the Western
world,
but I mean for them it's a big big moves there, but obviously behind all the kind of like eye trickery and whatnot, there's a lot of other deep darker stuff that's still going on there and prevalent. For example, the imprisoning of a lot of princes in although they're staying in like some sort of Ritz-Carlton hotel. But so there's a lot of shady stuff going on, but it was just ridiculously funny in a very, very dark.
No, I understand why you said it. I know. I'm going to cover you because funny. That wasn't funny. It was funny how ludicrous the excuses were and how long they tried to drag it out. Like he left an hour, 2 hours. His phone. I mean, come on. And then obviously the explanation. Okay, he died, but it was an accident. It was a horrible miscommunicative mistake. I mean, it was just a mistake. Okay, guys. Guys, come on, come on.
Sorry.
Isn't it? Do you remember the South Park that BP oil spill? Sorry. I'm sorry.
But that was it. And the funny thing is, that's what they can get away with. They would just say sorry.
Doesn't that bring the reality back after all the progressive? They go back to the old school kidnap and kill. Because of obviously a whole free speech thing. It's not even like the guy. Oh man!
It just highlighted the hypocrisy of what the United States, between particularly in that area of who are your enemies and who are your friends. You can't even differentiate who they are and what their actions are, but by condemning one group of people by being horrible, them being horrible to their people, and then another group of people saying, "Oh no, they're our friends," and it's it's comedic
Yeah.
as well as tragic.
I think the official line was, we can't jeopardize international trade or international relations because of one journalist. I think that's what Trump said.
Yeah, what they call what's the term? Realpolitik. You know, I'm not gonna. This is $100 billion contract we just signed with them. There's thousands of jobs created because of their order.
Yeah.
So it's bad, but you know,
It shows how much power Saudi Arabia has, because in the world, like even in terms of business, Saudi Arabia pours in billions of dollars into tech and to companies that are like blue chip and
that's
startups.
what MBS is doing there. Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that there was meant to be a big tech summit in Saudi Arabia,
and a lot of the Westerners dropped out.
Exactly.
They filled it with Germans and Chinese. I've heard Chinese professionals and entrepreneurs now, but a lot of the Westerners dropped out. And
Exactly.
you know, all I got to say is, because I know a lot of people might be listening to the story and be like, it's a bit too political. I don't really give a shit about this guy. The guy had it
It's
coming.
not even political, really.
Yeah, and here's the thing: I can see a younger version of myself watching this story 15 years ago and be like, oh, whatever. But I've known people. I know people that are journalists now. I know people that speak freely, and you would think in 2018, now things are a lot more lax, even in the Middle East. Even you would feel safer to say what we want. This guy was fearful for his life even before he left. He left his wife the phone and said, "I'm going to give you a spare phone." And he was paranoid because he knew it could happen. And this is I don't know how to put a positive spin on this, but it's kind of like, this is a staunch reminder that threats are threats. He was threatened. People just nowadays, I think people sometimes need the awakening that these things can actually happen, and these countries, it's not all talk. And I know it's not like some rogue element. It's not like ISIS or something. These are, the government. These are people. Look, I don't even want to point fingers. Apparently, they were aware. The people that organized the hit on this guy, they were part of the army.
It was all planned. From what the sources say, it was all planned by, he went to go get the passport thing. They just said, come back another day.
Yeah.
They told a lot of Saudi people who were residents in Turkey who were looking to get visas, saying, it's closed for the day. People who are of Turkish descent apparently were given the day off on that day as well. So it looked everything looked all set up. This is an out and out straight up murder.
I will say,
and that's why it was so shocking, because this is a government.
Yeah.
Everything's always done by cloak and dagger, be it the Russians or China. China can do this type of stuff, or been known to do it in the past.
Yeah.
But everything is there's always an air of deniability that they could actually just hold on to. But this was a straight up, openly massive murder. Trump couldn't even defend it. He was just like, yeah, it looks really bad. It looks really bad. That's all he could say. And then, but at the end of it, he just kind of shrugged his shoulders and like,
on the flip side,
it's a big order.
I want to believe that. I honestly, in my mind, want to believe that in this day and age of communication, instant communication, social media, even in the Middle East and stuff, I do want to believe, although it was a government, it was some rogue idiot that didn't really think about the repercussions, because at the end of the day, there will be repercussions for simple optics. Like America and, our sports nation, we can't really abide by this, even though we have obviously self-interest in, what they do, Saudi Arabia and stuff like that. We still have to put on the face of, this is heinous and we need to give them some kind of sanctions. And I know there's all talk about this, that and the other, but I'm just like, these people should, if they were so bold to think that there's not going to be any repercussions, that is really stupid. That's the only part of me that thinks this must have been two bumbling idiots that didn't even think. You really think you're just going to do it to satisfy your vengeance, and you're not going to think about the further repercussions of how it's going to affect your country? Because honestly, this is one of the biggest international stories in the last 10 years, apart from everything in America.
True. And, it's bad PR, but nothing will happen.
Yeah,
that's the saddest thing. Nothing will happen.
Nothing in a way.
There'll be a new news cycle. This guy will be forgotten about. In terms of repercussions, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
For Western countries,
we're not going to start a war over one person.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
particularly what has Saudi been doing to Yemen, and how many people, it's one of the worst humanitarian crises, in modern history.
Sure.
So, for this one journalist, obviously in the sphere of the media world, obviously you want to back up a colleague of yours. This guy was working for the Washington Post. He was a US resident, which made it much more of a bigger story. If he was like a journalist in Egypt or East Africa, Asia, this wouldn't. They would say, "Oh, this guy just disappeared.
Wouldn't have left the ground.
He's gone." Yeah, But if he's like chilling, writing for the Washington Post, of course there's going to be worldwide bigger news.
No.
But I mean, that's a different subject inside. But nothing will happen, and that's probably, if any kids who are possibly cynical about it, I can get it, because again, this is the repercussions of this will be minimal at best.
Yeah, Saudi Arabian money is too invaluable.
Oh yeah,
like
everyone
is just gonna overlook this. They'll put on a strict face for a few weeks, a couple of months, but everything will go back to normal.
I guess. Well, you know what? Let's move on, because obviously this is an evolving story. There's still, the countries still haven't come out and given like a really defined comment and punishment that everyone. Anyway, it's an evolving story. I don't know if we're gonna really come back to it, because I am a bit skeptical like you, Jody.
Nothing will happen. That's why. It'll be all good.
Please leave another message at voiceofmail.com.